best part of the show. No, seriously. It was a warm July morning. I go over past Fulton's car and we drive
What?
to the filling station where I worked. Still working on that. I was a 15-year-old young man with a summer job at a filling station. You remember the filling station? My mom had a 3-year bout with ovarian cancer. She'd been in and out of the hospital several times, and several times she didn't get ill. And told her she lived in the hospital. Each time she rallied, went home.
Oh man, I expected nothing less than that this time. The look on the pastor's face as he approached me told me it wouldn't be that day. My mom died that day, and the effects of her illness and her death is what caused me to go into medicine, and what ultimately caused me to go into wellness medicine. I was a young man, stricken deeply by my mom's death, and I was motivated, and I went to medical school, ambitious to cure cancer. But in medical school, I made an important discovery that some of you have already made. And I hope to help the rest of you make that. And that's that it's much better to prevent a disease than to cure one. And so that's what I'm here tonight about. So that's a little bit about me. Now let's hear about you. How many of you have high blood pressure? Diabetes? Don't sleep well at night. High cholesterol? How many of you have too much belly fat? Almost universal. It's a big deal. Do we have a problem with our healthcare system in this country? So why do you say that? What's the evidence? It's lousy? Throw medicine at everything. It's broke. Good. That's right. Evidence that things aren't working well. We're not diminishing chronic illness. It's getting worse. So our healthcare system is broken, and I think the best evidence of that is that we're broken, and our healthcare system is not doing much to fix us except throwing medicine at us. So we're going to talk a lot about that. You look like a good crowd. You're all pretty engaged now, and I appreciate you being here. But we have a decision to make. I can go straight for it, give you all the facts, just give it to you straight, or I can sugarcoat it. How do you want it? Oh, really? You want it just straight? Okay. All right. So that's what we'll do then. Remember, you asked for it, okay? Let me tell you what my intention is tonight. My intention is to give you more information than you've had about your health and what's going on with your health than you've heard from your primary care provider and maybe even from the internet in the past. We're going to filter out bad information, give you good information. We're going to talk about what's going wrong with our health. And we're going to drill a lot about the healthcare system, how the healthcare system is not solving this problem. And you're going to hear this theme again and again. The healthcare system is not going to fix the problem that we have with our health, okay? If you've got high blood pressure, they'll give you medicine. If you have high cholesterol, they'll give you medicine. Are they going to get to the root cause, what's going on? Are they going to fix the degeneration that's happening in our bodies? They're not, okay? Get comfortable with that because that's the simple truth of it. And that's the simple truth of why chronic disease is on the rise, because we're not getting to the root of the problem. So that's my intention to give that information. A lot of you are wondering, what is he up to? He's feeding me dinner tonight. I didn't have to pay anything. He's going to try to sell me something, right? Wrong. I'm going to try to do tonight, and this is the honest truth, I'm going to try to enlist you to sign up for a consult in my clinic. That's my only ambition, okay? I love doing the seminars because I love giving education out to the public because I firmly believe in all the things I say. There's no fluff or magic in any of this. This is science, and I firmly believe in it. It can change people's lives. I mean, I want to give that to the public. But I also, more than giving the seminars, I enjoy seeing people in my office because I'm more of a one-on-one person. I like sitting down to people knee to knee and talking it out and figuring out what's going on with your health. And so my only ambition tonight is to get you to sign up for a consultation, all right? How many of you are on board at this point in time? Ready to sign up? Good. Well, I'm going to get some more of you to raise your hands before it's all over with. And because some of you came, you're already agitated about your health, about the direction you're going, you're ready to move. Some of you are on the borderline, you're a little disturbed, but you're not really moved yet. And some of you just came for the food. But that's okay. We're going to give you entertainment, and we will give you food, no matter why you came, okay? So we're going to make it work out for you. So I just also want to say just a second that I'm not talking bad about anybody's primary care physician, okay? I know how hard their job is. They're part of a system. It's not their fault. And in spite of the things I say about the healthcare system, I'm not talking bad about any doctor. I live and work in Abilene. I know the doctors here, and I like most of them. They're a pretty good crowd, and it's not their fault. But If you want to get your health better, if you want to get on the track to wellness, you have to change something. And that something you have to change is who you see as responsible for your health. It's not the system. It's not your doctor. Who is it?
Ourselves.
That's right. I'll be coming back to that point 12 or 15 times tonight, so get used to it. All right, this is the wellness gauge. This is really easy, but I'm going to give a few words of explanation. Green is as God made us. God made us wonderful self-healing creatures, all right? If we put the right things in and enough of the right things and not a bunch of bad stuff, not a bunch of toxins and bad stuff, we heal ourselves. And so when something goes wrong in one of our systems, we do the right things, lots of good stuff, not too much bad stuff, we heal ourselves. So why don't we get well? Why aren't we living in this green zone? We're going to talk a lot about that, okay? And so green is when, as God's systems are working, we're fixing ourselves. Everything is as God made it. We're living young and filling it. Yellow, not so good. All right, something's going wrong. We have a diagnosis. We have to take a medicine. We have too much belly fat. We're not sleeping at night. Our energy is down. Obviously, things aren't in the green anymore, okay? And then things go from bad to worse. You get in the orange. This is where multiple systems are down. You're on several medicines. The doctor suggests you have a procedure. You have that procedure done and things aren't any better. And then things get really bad into the red zone. I call the red RIA, riding in an ambulance. These are people who need acute intervention or are going to suffer disability or death, all right? So have 4 real easy questions about the wellness gauge, all right? First question is, where are you? How many of you are in the green and you know it? All right, good. Got some people in the green. How many of you in the yellow? How many will admit to being in the orange? Good, thank you for your honesty. And if anybody's in the red, I don't want to know it. You're disqualified from dinner tonight, but I do know CPR. I can help you. All right, so second question about the wellness gauge. Easiest question of the night, okay? What do you want to be? Nobody has a death wish, right? We all want to live long and well, have a high quality future life. We all want to be in the green. So third question about the wellness gauge. Which direction are you going? How many of you, this is not wishful thinking, but based on your health-related behavior in the last 6 months, how many of you are moving to the right? You're moving to the green. Excellent. I love a crowd like this because you guys are already motivated, you're already taking responsibility for your health, you're already moving in the right direction. Excellent. And how many of you are moving to the left? Be honest now, come on. Come on. Some half-hearted hands there. All right. All right, so fourth and final question about the wellness gauge. So tell me where you're at, where you want to be, which direction you're moving. This is the fourth question, and it's got a 2-part answer. Who's going to help you get there? First part. Part A. That's right. Exactly right. Each of you remember that. It's your responsibility to get yourself in the zone that you want to be in. Nobody else's. All right? The second part of the question, who's going to help you get there? You. That's right. You guys are quick. Yeah. That's exactly right. So this is my family. 10 kids. You're right, I've been busy. 7 of our own kids, and then 3 adopted kids. You've already met my lovely wife. This is several years old now, but it was with some of the older kids that I had my own health challenge, my own health crisis. We love the mountains. We go to Colorado every summer, sometimes twice a summer, hiking the mountains, and I love doing that. In fact, this last summer, I finished a quest of mine, and I climbed the last of all 14,000 peaks in Colorado. 53 14,000-foot peaks, and I climbed them last summer on the day before my 62nd birthday. All right, just bragging on myself a little bit. It pays off. Taking care of yourself pays off, okay? And I'm proof of that. So, but back to the mountains. We always loved the mountains. We loved hiking, and I was always the alpha dad. How many of you had a dad like that? Pushing you, not time for a break. Come on, let's keep going. You can go further. That's long enough for a break. Let's pick up the pace. I was always that way. And then a couple of years passed, and these kids all got stronger and better. And now, this year, they're leaving me behind. They're in the front. They're telling riddles. And I'm behind them, huffing and puffing, trying to catch up. The trail got steeper. They got quicker. I got further behind. And I decided I was going to catch up with them. And so I pushed myself and pushed myself. And I pushed myself into a crisis. I got so short of breath, I didn't know where the next breath was coming from. And I got tight in the chest. An alarming sensation. Well, I got the kids to stop, and I got in front of them so that they couldn't push the pace anymore, and I survived that day. But I had a crisis. I saw what it was like for my family to go on without me. And I didn't like that. I didn't like the way that felt. And that motivated me. I changed the way I ate. I lost about 20, 25 pounds. I started exercising regular. And ultimately, my memory of that is what prompted me to go into wellness medicine. Because I saw from that experience that I was on the wrong path. I was headed the wrong way. And more years, more of the same. I was going to get further behind my family. And eventually, it wasn't going to be just physically true. It was going to be absolutely true that my family would go on without me. And I wasn't even ready to think about that. So it motivated me. So this probably is not going to play some video glitch tonight. But this just makes the point, and some of the points that are made here is that the healthcare system's broken. This is the preview for Escape Fire. It's just a little short film about what's wrong with our healthcare system. And one of the statistics they bring up here that we should all pay attention to is that we're number one in spending per capita, almost double what any other country spends. And we rank about 40th in our length of life. So chronic disease has taken us down. We spend a lot of money on our healthcare system, and we're not getting much bang for our buck. And why is that? Why are things not working well? We're going to talk more about that. So this is where we're going to drill down. This is the education part. We're going to really give you the meat and potatoes about what's going on. And bear with me, okay? It gets a little scientific and a little technical, but I'm going to try to move. I'm just geeky enough about medical stuff that I like kind of getting bogged down and explaining stuff, but I know that you need the quick passover on stuff. And if anybody has more desire for information, I'll talk to you a long time about it after the conference. But we're going to run through this quickly, okay? So what goes wrong? If our God was going to make a creature who was the most complex thing ever in the universe, and this creature was going to be able to fix himself on the fly, he was going to be able to adapt to conditions as they came up, he was going to be able to heal himself when diseases or injuries happened, if he was going to be able to live long and well, if his brain was going to work and provide for him and his family and his group, his tribe for a long time, he would have to have a tremendously complicated blueprint for that being, the most complicated thing in the universe. And that's exactly what we have. It's called DNA. Some 2 billion base pairs, hundreds of thousands of genes are coded for. The DNA genes code for 20 or 25,000 proteins. We don't even know exactly how many, but it's your blueprint, and it's a living blueprint, and it's moving all the time. I remember when I was in medical school, everybody was all heady, really proud of ourselves because of the progress we made about DNA, and the saying was going around that your DNA is your destiny, because we discovered the link between a lot of diseases and your DNA. Diseases run in families. DNA is your destiny. Today, we know that's not true. Okay, there's something else, a new field of study called epigenetics. Any of you heard that word before? Epigenetics. What it means is the part that turns on or turns off any segment of DNA. Your DNA is tremendously complicated. Only a small part of it is actively being transcribed at any one point in time. Epigenetics is what turns your DNA on and off. And you're in control of your epigenetics. You're the one that controls that based on your lifestyle, your diet, the toxins that you have in your body and how you take care of it, your hormones, the stress levels you're under, the exercise that you're doing or not doing. All those things are vitally important for your epigenetics. And so the good news is your DNA is not your destiny. You're in control of your health destiny. You can make decisions that determine how you're going to do from this point on. So DNA is vitally important, extremely important for good life and good health, but you're in control, all right? Yes, God gave you DNA, and he gave you certain tendencies and predispositions written in your DNA, but you're in control of that based on what you do and don't do. Second system we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about 4 systems, 5 hormones, and 1 very special important person. And again, who's that special important person? I want you to remember that, and I keep going back to this because this is not an abstract theoretical talk. This is a concrete nuts and bolts. This is where the rubber meets the road talk. I'm talking about your health and what's going on with your health, okay? And I keep coming back to that same point for a very important reason. So the second one of the 4 systems we're going to talk about is energy systems. I love this story because we never think globally about energy. We don't think big picture. Let me just ask and see if anybody's thinking globally. Ultimately, where does all our energy come from? All the energy that we use. The energy we're using right now, blinking our eyes, nodding off, whatever we're doing. Where does all that energy come from? I heard oxygen. I heard food. Sun. Excellent. We have some global thinkers today. That's absolutely right. Usually I have to dig and dig to get that answer out. So absolutely all our energy ultimately comes from the sun. Plants, through a process called photosynthesis, with a molecule called chlorophyll. Somebody said it. Bonus points. You get a free meal tonight. So plants, in a process called photosynthesis with a molecule called chlorophyll, capture energy from the sun, and they join carbon molecules together and store energy in the form of linked carbon molecules. We ingest these carbon molecules in the form of fats, carbohydrates, or proteins. They're modified, absorbed by us, and transported in our system to a part of the cell called the mitochondria. There in the mitochondria, the carbon atoms are broken apart. When they're broken apart, that stored energy is released, and our mitochondria has everything in place to capture that energy and send it through what we call the energy currency of the cell, which is ATP, adenosine triphosphate. Everything you do, every motion, every movement, every thought, every regeneration, every thought, every dream while you're sleeping is the result of ATP. ATP does everything for you in your body. And so the mitochondria capture the energy released when carbon atoms are split apart and change it into ATP. So what's wrong? Why should we be concerned about our energy system? It's a beautiful system to talk about and it's fun, but what's the concern to you? Well, because if you don't have everything in place to transfer that energy, the energy gets loose. Two things happen when the energy gets loose. One, it's not available to you. You don't have the energy that you need. And two, that extra energy does damage. It damages the mitochondria, damages the cell wall, damages the nucleus, can damage the DNA. You get a lot of DNA damage, you get cancer. So bad news. So you need a good diet that has a lot of nutrients, that provides everything you need so that energy gets transferred right. And you also need in your diet a very special something that we hear a lot about, but we don't know what it does. A lot of vitamin bottles say this. It says, contains extra you're getting close. Antioxidants. You hear that word a lot. Now you know what antioxidants do. That's what antioxidants do, is they catch that energy, they mop it up before damage can be done. Okay? That's why we need antioxidants, because this energy is being brought into your body in the form of linked carbon atoms. They're split apart, and if you don't have everything, even if you have everything, occasionally the energy gets loose. If you have antioxidants around, they mop up that energy before damage can be done. All right? Makes sense? You guys on board? Am I moving too fast or too slow? Is the porridge just right? All right. Good. Good. So the third system we're going to talk about, protection systems. This is your immune system. Again, another one, a beautiful piece of God's work here, our immune system. We're all alive right now simply because our immune system's working. How long would we live if our immune system shut down right now, quit working? How long would you live? 2 days, maybe. 2 days. And you've all heard of bubble babies? Born without immune systems. They live in a protected environment until they reach age and they decide they don't want to do that anymore, and they live with antibiotics and special care and a lot of immunoglobulins infused into the body, so they live a week or two. So our immune system is vitally important. So why should we be concerned about it? It works, right? Well, several things go wrong with our immune system. One part of our immune system is the fight or flight system. You guys have heard of that, right? And the fight or flight system gets turned on when you're under threat, and we these days live under chronic threats. And our immune system's turned on all the time, our fight or flight, even in a calm life in America. This is a stressful place. You think about, you see the news clips about this and that place where war's going on, but they don't have stress like we have it. They have flashes of stress. The war happens and then they're over. We have stress all the time. The land of opportunity is the land of stress. So our immune systems turn all the time. We're secreting cortisol. The cortisol is mobilizing energy that we don't use, that unused energy gets stored. And what do we call stored energy? Fat. That's exactly right. So a lot of things go wrong. And the other thing, that because we're using our cortisol all the time, cortisol is not there to be an immune modulator. And so when you're stressed all the time, you get sick all the time because your cortisol is not there to buffer your immune system. So a lot of stuff goes wrong with our immune systems. We're alive because of it, but we're sick because of it, because of our chronic stress, because it messes us up. All right, fourth system. Hormones. This is the cockpit of the airplane, as depicted in this slide. A lot of information is coming in, a lot of information is going out. We think about our brain controlling our bodies through our nervous system, right? Nerves go out. I'm able to do this with my hand, and I'm able to speak and move my tongue because of our nervous system. Well, believe it or not, our body controls itself mostly not through the nervous system, but through hormones, chemical signals. There are hundreds of hormones. We're only going to talk about 5 of them. There's a crisis, epidemic of hormone problems in our society. That's multifactorial. A lot of things going on. It has to do with stress. Stress messes up cortisol. Cortisol mitigates and modifies all of our reactions to other hormones. Toxins. There's a lot of xenoestrogens out there. The little strip you get at the newspaper, the receipt that they print out, has BPA on it, okay, which is a xenoestrogen, which messes up your hormone reaction. If you get one at a restaurant or a fast food place, you get it on your hands before you pick up your burger, so you eat that estrogen, xenoestrogen. So a lot of things are going on, but we have an epidemic of estrogen problems, or excuse me, hormone problems. So hormones control everything in our body. We're going to talk about 5 hormones. We've already talked a little bit about one, cortisol. Tremendously important. It's the master hormone of the body. If it's not working right, your body's not going to work right. And as I said, we're all stressed. We all have cortisol problems a little bit. We all need to deal with our stress somewhat. And for that reason, we get ourselves messed up. Cortisol goes up. Cortisol mobilizes sugar. Our blood sugar goes up. Elevated blood sugar is what? What disease? Diabetes. And diabetes ravages our health, increases our risk of every known cause of death. All kinds of cancer are greater if you have diabetes. Dementia is greater if you have diabetes. So cortisol being out of whack is just a big problem. Second hormone we're going to talk about, we've already mentioned diabetes. Insulin, secreted by the beta cells of the pancreas. It lowers blood sugar by opening up gates in your blood and your muscle cells, in your fat cells, and your liver cells, and it takes sugar out of your blood. So when your sugar goes up, you secrete insulin, helps your sugar go down. If your demand is too great and your body can't secrete enough insulin, your sugar goes up and stays too high. You have diabetes. If this goes on long enough, or you have insulin resistance, if it goes on long enough, you wear your pancreas out, and you just can't make as much. You can't make enough insulin anymore, and you have diabetes. So that's a big problem, a big threat to health. A lot of you guys are on track to getting diabetes, and a lot of you are insulin resistant already. I know this from my office because I see your blood results when you come in. So the third hormone we're going to talk about is thyroid hormone. Tremendously important. Again, we have an epidemic going on with thyroid problems, very complicated. Thyroid's your thermostat hormone. It's what turns your metabolism on and off. Every cell in your body has a thyroid receptor. If you don't have an activated thyroid hormone attached to that receptor, that cell is not going to have normal metabolism. So you have enough cells like that that don't have normal metabolism. You don't have energy, and you store that energy. And what do we call stored energy? Fat. Another cause of extra weight we can't get rid of. So thyroid hormone is tremendously complicated. A bunch of you have had thyroid tests, and your doctor said what? No problem. You're within normal limits. So in my office, one of the things I do that's different is I don't like that phrase, within normal limits. If I ever use that word, you call me out, okay? Because I don't like it, because we're not normal. We're all individual, and normal limits doesn't mean anything. So with the hormone like thyroid, and with a lot of things, my job is to help you optimize things. You have the best health future. You're most likely to get in the green and stay there. You're most likely to get on the path to wellness and have a long and prosperous health future if you optimize the things that you can adjust, not get within normal limits. You don't want to be good enough. We've done that all of our lives, and if we want to be optimized, if we want to have a good health destiny, we have to take care of that now. We have to get everything optimized, and thyroid is one of those. We don't want to be within normal limits. We want to be optimized, best possible, right? So that's what I try to do for people, and I'm the only one in town that interprets thyroid lab that way. I mean, everybody else will look at it and say, you're good, and come and see what it does for you, because I've had hundreds of patients come in, had their lab work from their doctor, said within normal limits, and I said, your body's telling you don't have enough thyroid. Your lab is not arguing with that, but it says you're in the lower limit here. You're within normal limits, but it's not good enough, so we fix that. So thyroid hormone is something I do a lot of work with very successfully. All right, so fourth and fifth hormones we're going to talk about tonight. Stars of the show. Any guesses? Come on. Exactly right. You get a free meal. Estrogen and testosterone. Is there any controversy about replacing estrogen and testosterone?
Yes.
All right, so let's start with estrogen. What's the controversy? Women's hormone replacement. Breast cancer. Breast cancer. What else? What else do you hear about? Blood clots. Heart disease. All those things are argued. So this has been kicked around for decades and decades. So 14 years ago, there was a big study published called the Women's Health Initiative. And it was the study that was supposed to answer once and for all, do women need hormone replacement? And the conclusion that they came to was, no, they don't need hormone replacement. So doctors followed that advice. So 4 years ago, in the American Journal of Public Health, a mainline journal, there was a publication where they relooked at the data from the Women's Health Initiative and the women who participated in it, and they came to the conclusion that as many as 80,000 women in the United States have died because doctors followed the advice of the Women's Health Initiative. It was that bad of a study, and the conclusions were that bad. What we know now is that if you do the right hormones by the right route, you don't increase your risk of breast cancer, you don't increase your risk of blood clots, and you don't increase your risk of heart disease. If you know what you're doing, you replace hormones right, none of those things are increased. And replacing your hormones strengthens your bones, diminishes your chance of dementia, helps your muscle mass, helps your cholesterol profile, helps your energy, helps your mental alertness, acuity, helps all those things. So a lot of bad information out there, and a lot of what's practiced in town is not current. So, and my philosophy about replacing hormones is I want to give you the options. I tell you what's available, what's the risk versus benefit, and you make your decision, okay? That's what we do. I'm a strong proponent of it, but everybody makes their own decision. You need that option. You can decide for yourself what you want to do, okay? Second issue, men's hormones, testosterone. Any controversy about that? What's the controversy about replacing testosterone in that? What do you hear?
I've heard that it'll increase the aggressiveness.
Aggressiveness, behavior problems, prostate cancer, and heart disease. Those are all issues. And basically testosterone got that reputation not for testosterone, but what we call artificial androgens used by bodybuilders in excess. And they're using artificial strong androgens to build muscle and not paying attention to their levels. And all the behavior problems relate to that. And they had heart problems and I don't know if they had prostate problems or not, but we know now that doing bioidentical testosterone, that's the exact molecule that men make, and replacing the levels back to youthful levels, does not increase the risk of prostate cancer, does not increase heart disease, and doesn't make you aggressive. On the contrary, I have women seriously bring their men in that we've been doing testosterone replacement, say he needs a boost, he's gotten cranky again. So, seriously, that happens. So, estrogen and testosterone, we love the difference between men and women. Sums it up pretty well, right? Men are pretty simple. Women, not so much. So I've never had anybody argue with this slide. Someday it's going to happen, but everybody gets it. That kind of nails it. So there was a man, an entrepreneur, who decided there were too many single women in New York City. So he opens up a husband store. Real simple rules, 6 stories tall, major street in Manhattan. You can go to any floor you want to buy your husband, but you can't go back to the previous floor. So our young lady goes into the husband store. She's going to make a purchase. On the first floor, she finds men who have jobs. She's all excited about that, but she knows she's got other options. So she goes to the second floor. Second floor, she finds men who have jobs and love kids. Well, she's even more excited because she hopes there's a family in her future. But she knows she has options. So she goes to the third floor. She finds men who have jobs, love kids, and are good looking. She's just floored. You know, what else can there be? But she knows there's other options. She goes to the next floor. And on the fourth floor, she finds men who have jobs, love kids, they're good looking, and they help with chores. Only the women get this. The men are going, what? What's that even mean? So no, she knows she's got other options. So she goes to the fifth floor. There she finds men who have jobs, love kids, good looking, help with chores, and they're incurable romantics. Flowers all the time, chocolates, what can I do for you, honey? Would you like a back rub? Just all the time. So she's got her purse out. She's digging for a credit card, about to make her purchase, and she realizes there's the 6th floor. What's in the 6th floor? So she goes to the 6th floor, and there she finds a sign. It says, welcome to the 6th floor. You're the 35 millionth visitor. There are no men on this floor. This is for women who can't be satisfied. So the same man decides there's also a lot of single men in New York City, so he opens up a wife store. Same rule, 6-story building, major street in Manhattan. You can go to any floor, but you can't go back to the previous floor. So our young man goes in to buy a wife. He walks in the first floor, and on the first floor he finds women who like sex. He's got his wallet out, filling out the bills. And he remembers he has other choices. So he goes to the second floor, and there he finds women who like sex and have money. He makes his purchase there. No one knows what's on the other floors. Nobody's ever been there. So we love the differences in men and women, and hormones are responsible for that, okay? And so we think that the hormones, the differences, and I've seen slides before where an old man and an old woman sort of begin to look like each other, and some of that is from averaging out of the hormones. Testosterone goes down in the man, the estrogen goes away in the woman, and actually the man ends up having a higher estrogen level than the woman, which is, and it just averages things out. So why shouldn't we think more progressively about it? Why shouldn't we keep a more youthful body habitus? And replacing hormones helps us do that and 100 other things. I face the question every day, doesn't God just want our hormones to go away? He made us that way. God gave us automobiles. He didn't give us automobiles and we made them and we get around. It's a tool that we use that improves our lives. Same with computers. He didn't give us these, but we made them and they improve our lives. And so managing our hormones is a tool that we can use to improve the quality of our life now and our future prospects of health. So I'm a firm believer. But again, my philosophy with men is the same as with women. I give you options. We talk about what we can do, tell you the risk versus benefit, and you make your own decision. Does that make sense to everybody?
Yes.
All right, so we're through the hard part. This is fun stuff, and we get to have dinner soon, okay? So we talked about 4 systems, and our health goes bad because our systems go bad. It's problems with these 4 systems that accumulate and pile up on each other that lead to high blood pressure, high cholesterol, lack of energy, lack of sleeping well, diabetes, and all the other health problems we have. So what goes wrong? God gave us good systems. Why don't they fix themselves? Well, we don't eat right. We don't think about this when we're eating food. You probably won't think about it tonight, although you're going to have a very good meal tonight. They do a great job here serving good food and delicious food too. So you should make a habit of coming here. This is a really good place to eat. This is a good place to learn how to eat right. So we don't eat right, do we? How many of you feel like you eat right? I don't believe you. What happens, the American diet is high calorie, low nutrition. We fix our diet. We bring the calories down, the nutrition up some. Is it a good diet yet? Usually not. All right, so we like to just start over. High nutrition, low calorie. Why not just reinvent the diet? It's that important. This is the number 1 take home for the night. If you don't come to me for a consult, if you don't remember anything else, remember this. If you want to live long and well, you have to eat the best diet possible. Change your diet. All right, you need to optimize your diet. If you don't do anything else, remember that, okay? No, that's the most important thing. Bad information. You guys have all seen this, the ab buster. You've seen the infomercials. You've seen the model get on this and show off his or her abs, like they got the abs by doing this. Nothing to do with this machine. They're models. This is about marketing. But that's only the surface of the bad information. What about the pharmaceutical commercials? Yeah, there's something, aren't they? I like them. They're good. They're very entertaining. Not good information, but very entertaining. They all start the same way. They tell you the name of the medicine, and then the voice starts going and droning on and on about what? What does he tell you? So it starts out, you know, you're going to itch a little bit, you might get a rash. And how does it always end up? You might die from this. Call your doctor if you die from this medicine. It always ends up that way. But these people spend billions of dollars. They're the number 2 spender on marketing, pharmaceutical companies. They spend a lot of money. They know what they're doing. How does this work? They show you the name of the medicine and tell you all this bad stuff. How is this good marketing? How do they sell stuff? What's going on the screen? What?
Everything you want to be.
Everything you want to be. I like it.
Liking
That's
because
right.
they're happy.
That's right. Just everything glorious, right? Men and women sitting beside each other, holding hands in hot tubs, you know, walking through fields of flowers, playing with grandkids, everything good. So this is the dirty trick that they do. You listen to the visual, you think, well, this is good honesty. They're really pointing out there for me. But what are they showing you? Showing all this magical visual stuff. So you're like a year from now, or a year from when you see that ad, what are you going to remember? The name of the medicine and then the emotional impact of that visual. That's all you remember. You don't remember any of the side effects. And so when you or somebody you love hears that name mentioned, you're going to think, yeah, that's a good medicine. They've programmed you to respond that way. Dirty pool, in my opinion.
I think even the cage jingles, they go like.
That's right. It's all in package and they know exactly what they're doing. So a lot of bad information. Stress. I've already mentioned stress, how it affects our cortisol, it affects our brains. Physical stress. We have a lot of physical stress. You know, we have a lot more violence in our society because of automobiles and automobile crashes. We a lot of times don't get over those things. Every concussion you have increases your risk of getting Alzheimer's disease later in life, having dementia of some kind. Physical stress is a big deal. Chemical stress. How many of you believe we live in a toxic world? We do. We do. Full of toxins and they're affecting our health. When they draw blood on newborn babies, umbilical cord blood, the baby hasn't seen the world yet, 200 to 250 foreign substances in that baby's blood. Small amounts, it's true, but what's the cumulative effect of all those small amounts? We don't know. We don't know. It's a toxic world we live in. Lots of chemical stress. And then what we all know about emotional stress, that's what we think of as stress. So how many of you have stressful lives? And you know it. Okay, the rest of you have stressful lives too, you just don't know it. So my wife mentioned earlier we spent 2 years overseas. Bishkek, Kyrgyzstan, it's the place in the world the furthest from an ocean. Look right in the center of Asia, that's where Kyrgyzstan is. So we went with 5 kids, 2 in diapers. There was no medical services in the country to speak of, no prepared foods, bags of rice, bags of flour, vegetables in the market and meat hanging on hooks in the market. And we didn't know the language, we didn't know the culture. How many of you think that sounds stressful? The best 2 years of our lives. No doubt about it. Why is that? How can that be? Huh?
Natural food.
Natural food. They couldn't afford pesticides and herbicides, so it's good clean food. But mostly, we weren't in America. You know, and I'm a patriot, I love America, but the land of opportunity is the land of stress, and we're stressing ourselves out. And everybody, the fast pace, these phones that we have and how they're always calling for our attention, the news. How often does the news have something positive to say? Now, I remember once. And
Once.
I can't remember what that was. It's all negative. So we get negative stuff all the time. We're stressed out. And that affects our health. Number 2 bit of advice today, eat right. Number 2 is manage your stress. So how do you manage stress? What do you do about stress? Turn the TV off. That's a good place to start.
And exercise strategy.
Exercise is excellent. These are all good answers.
And gratitude.
Gratitude. That's changing your attitude, changing the way you receive what happens out there. Meditation. Look into it. It's a good idea. All right, hormones go bad. We've already talked about that. One of the natural things that happen as we age is that muscle building hormones go down, fat storing hormones go up. Just naturally happens as we age, and so it changes our body habitus. But you're not stuck with this older body habitus. You can make a difference by replacing your hormones. This is an example of what I mean. Not being proactive. We expect somebody else to take care of our health. The doctor, the healthcare system, somebody's going to take care of my health. Whose responsibility is it to take care of your health? Right. I told you I was going to come back to this point, didn't I? I gave you fair warning. Again and again. This is walking the dog.
Walking.
Not being proactive, all right? So we have to be proactive. So what goes wrong with our health? All these things, lots of reasons why health doesn't go well. So it's a complicated issue. Toxins in our world. What do we do about that? Nutrition. Brain. We haven't even talked about the brain. I could talk for an hour about brains. In fact, I do. But we're not going to do that tonight because you guys are hungry already. Brain's vitally important. Hormones. The nervous system. Fitness, spirituality, all these complicated pieces. How do we live long and well? How do we put these pieces together? Well, we need a system. People fail in fixing themselves because they don't have a system. They address one thing instead of addressing everything. That's why diets don't work. You're fixing only one of the systems, only one of the things going wrong. You have to fix them all. So you need a system that addresses it all, and that's what we do in the clinic. At Restore Wellness Center, we try to address things comprehensively. The house of health, 4 pillars of health. Detoxification. People don't understand detox. This was the hardest thing for me to get my arms around, coming from a traditional medical background, but I kept going to lectures and the doctors kept saying, you've got to detox your patients. You've got to detox them. You've got to detox them. So I researched it and we started detoxing people, even though I didn't fully believe in it yet. And by golly, people got better. They felt better. They started sleeping better. Aches and pains went away. Their cravings went away. They started getting more energy. So detox, getting the toxins out, fixing your gut so that you can absorb nutrients that you need to absorb, and helping you change your diet. Nutrition, vitally important. And we love, I've already tipped my hat what we do in the clinic. We try to optimize your nutrition. You need to get a lot of good stuff in. God gave us the stuff out there that we need to fix our bodies, but we have to put it in our bodies before it can work. We need to eat more food and less food-like substances. Exercise, somebody mentioned that a while ago, what we can do about stress. Exactly, exercise takes care of a lot of things. Exercise is critically important for epigenetics. You remember that word from 45 minutes ago? Epigenetics. It's how we control our DNA. It's the switches that turn on and off our DNA, and exercise is vitally important for turning on the right switches. Without exercise, you cannot optimize your health. You cannot optimize your health future. And it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be long. There's a lot of mistakes and a lot of myths about exercise. It can be easy, and it should be easy, and it should be fun. That's one of the principles we have. We make it work for everybody. And hormones. You have to balance your hormones. Brain, it's the roof over everything else. And taking care of your body generally takes care of your brain, but some of you guys need more attention to your brain. How many are concerned about cognitive decline? A bunch of people. Wow. So we do that. We address that in the clinic too, because that's a huge issue. Alzheimer's. More women are affected by Alzheimer's disease than breast cancer. More women are going to die from Alzheimer's than breast cancer, the people that are alive right now. Not well known, but it's a huge thing. It's something we need to deal with. And the foundation of the house, spiritual. People that live long and well have a purpose for living. All right? You need to get in touch with that purpose if you want to live long and well. Okay. I love this quote because I love trees. Don't we wish we'd planted trees 20 years ago? Don't we wish we'd started taking care of our health 20 years ago? That's the perfect time, right? When's the next best time to take care of our health? Exactly right. Now. That's why we talk about you're responsible, now's the time, let's take action. This is the time. So don't be like this fat cat. What just happened? So what we do in our clinic is we put everything together. You know, you need to get on a path, a progressive path that's ordered, and we do that. We have a program that we intervene in your life in the way that we need to intervene. We collect more data first, and then we move towards solutions for the problems that we come up with. And at the same time, we put you through a curriculum, an education curriculum, so you understand what we're doing and understand the progress that we're making. How's that working for you guys? Good. They've been through the program. These guys are graduates, so pick their brains. See what you can. I won't call on you and make you a testimonial tonight. But the education program works really well. We have a lot of fun, and we give you the information you need to manage yourself well in the future. So the curriculum is vitally important. So, all right. So this is near the end of the talk. I promised you we'd get there, and we are almost there. So let's just have a show of hands. How many of you are ready to sign up for consult? And you'll admit it. Hold your hands up. Let me just see your hands. How many are ready? Good. Well, we're ready to sign you up. I appreciate you guys coming in. So when you come into my office, what to expect? You're going to meet the rest of my staff. You're going to see the facilities we have. And the main thing that happens in the consultation, you're going to fill out some paperwork ahead of time. And I'm going to review that paperwork while you're getting a tour. And we're going to sit down knee to knee and talk about your health. What's going on with your health, what's happened in your past, what's likely underlying what's going wrong with you, and how my programs can help you, okay? And if we can come to agreement that you see that my programs can help the problem that you have, then we'll get you on a program, all right? It's that simple. So that's what happens when you come. I get asked a question a lot, can I help everybody? No, I can't help everybody. That's the bad news. The good news is that you self-select. I can help the people who are willing to take action and willing to move. And when you come into my clinic, I don't take everybody that comes in. Because if I see, if you're in the old doctor-patient model, that's your mindset, doctor fix me, we have some work to do before I can take you on as a patient, because I like people who understand this is my responsibility, help me doctor. I need a mentor, I need a guide, and that's what I'm there to do. So when you come into my office, I can help you if you choose to take action. So frequently asked questions. A lot of times people say, can I afford your programs? Yes, we have a lot of single working moms who get on programs, who have some finance options available. We can make it work for you. And you don't have to cross that bridge right now. I'm happy to see you in office. You don't have to try to think, gee, can I afford a program or not? If you can afford a consultation, come in and see me, okay? Because I'm happy to see you. I love seeing people, and if you can't afford a program, I'm going to give you a lot of good health advice anyway, okay? But most people can afford a program. Very few people absolutely cannot anyway afford a program. We can get you in some kind of way that we can help you, okay? Another question I get asked a whole lot is, what about my insurance? We haven't talked a lot about insurance, but insurance is linked arm in arm with the healthcare system, and they really don't pay for wellness services. We'd love to take the insurance, but they just don't pay for what we do. We spend a lot of one-on-one time helping you, guide you through the path that you need to get on to get off the path of disease and get on the path to wellness. And insurance companies just don't help us out there. So sorry about that. It's them, it's not me. I wish I could give you a different answer to that, but I can't. So I guess we're down. The computer's down. So not sure what happened. I hope my Mac didn't just die. I'll grieve about that. She's been with me a long time. So when you come into my office, when you see your doctor, how long does he spend with you? 2 minutes. Brutal honesty. I want to ask who your doctor is, okay? Don't tell us. The national average is 3 to 7 minutes. And how much does it cost? You're lying. So for 3 to 7 minutes, national average is $200 to $300. We're not talking about copays. We're talking about the total amount that it costs for an office visit. So if you come and see me for a consultation, how long should I spend with you? 30 minutes. How about however long it takes? We'll set aside an hour. Does that sound fair? And how much should it cost? Don't say free. This is America, okay? So we do consults. My usual charge for an hour consultation is $247. But for those of you who have been to the seminar, you've already got an education. I've already done a lot of talking to everybody that I would have to do to you individually if you came in for a consult. So we do a $127 deal. And for those of you who are willing to sign up tonight, we'll drop that to $87. Okay, so $87 for a 1 hour consultation. And if you come in with your spouse or significant other, that they're only $47. Okay, so you can get a double consult for just 87 plus 47. So real simple rules before we finish up. When you come into my office, finish your paperwork up before you come. Because if you don't, you're going to finish them up before you see me, and that's going to cut into our consult time. And I'm going to set aside that time for you. I don't want to, and I can't cut into the next guy's time. So you're going to, if you want the full time with me, you need to fill out your paperwork ahead of time. Second rule, same thing, come on time. Same reason, we don't want to cut into your time. We want to have the full consult time to make things work. And the third rule is if you have a spouse or significant other, you come with them. Scott and Susan, are you guys a pair? All right, a pair. Well, they're coming. They've got more. Right? You got papers? Yeah, she'll be around. There they are. So if Scott was going to see a cardiologist, would you go, Susan? Why would you go?
Because I want to hear what the doctor has to say.
That's right. It's important. Maybe he'll talk about some life-saving procedures or something like that. It could be really important. I think my office, what you do in my office is the same thing, just as important, maybe more important. It might be the visit that keeps you out of the cardiologist office, okay? So if you have a spouse or significant other, ask that you bring them along. They don't have to do a consult if they don't want it, but just bring them along so they're fully informed about what's going on, okay? So that we can make decisions together. Does that make sense? Okay, so any of you want to pick my brain, have some questions for me, ask me whatever, I'll be standing around on that side for a while, so please come and talk to me. I'd be happy to talk to you. And my staff is going to pass papers out to everybody, and I look forward to seeing you all in the office. Thank you very much.